but you also say you don't have to wait till you have cancer to come up with a bucket list and live as, because I know you, and you encourage people to live as fully as possible.
You should never wait, because there'll be that time when the doctor will tell me it's your time, and by then I know that I'd be in too much pain to do anything. And why not live life now?
Yeah, because nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. None of us know. So everyone should just, I love that idea. We all should have a bucket list no matter what, and be going down it and live life to its fullest.
Live it to the fullest and
take some risks.
Exactly. Enjoy the moment. Live in the moment. And live your own story and make it a good one. Because you're the author of your own book. For me, cancer is just a few chapters.
Nice. Okay, so you said you're going into your 6th fight.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that and how you process it.
This 6th fight, I will need chemotherapy infusions. It'll be 6 months worth. It has been extremely difficult for me to wrap my head around this one. I think emotionally, I just can't get past the sadness. Because it's not just me fighting, it's my family fighting. It's them having to go through this as well.
So have you gone into remission and then go back into the fight, or has this been a battle, that you're just going consistently through these fights?
I don't really have remission times anymore.
Okay.
And I was told from the get-go that my remission times were going to get shorter and shorter just because of the type of cancer I have. Basically now they're kind of overlapping.
So you say it's really affecting you this time, but how are you? How have you? And how will you in the future keep your inspiration and your hope and yourself going?
Prayers. I believe in the power of prayer, and certainly keeping up with my bucket list. Always looking for something fun to do, something fun to eat, try. I have a sense of humor, so I'm always doing funny things, dressing up when I go for my chemo infusions. I love making the nurses and doctors laugh.
So tell us about some of your outfits. I like this. Did you know this story that she dresses up fun?
Is this to be found on your Warriors Fight?
Okay.
All your outfits?
I do. I have a cape that I wear.
Okay.
A friend got me a cape.
Awesome.
She got me a tiara that I wore. I love sharks, so I've had a little shark hat. I love clown noses. I don't know, just whatever's around, I like to throw on.
So you're making it fun. You're trying to keep it positive.
I'm trying to keep it light. It helps me get through those several hours that I have to be there. It's not easy. It's not easy for anybody to be there or going through it. It's one of the most horrific.
So does your husband take you to the appointment, or how does that work?
I usually have friends take me.
Okay.
Because my friends usually are the ones that want to spend time with me, and we can catch up, and we laugh, and we tell stories. And I get loopy on my cocktail that they give me before they give me the chemo. So, we just try to make the best of the time.
I have a question for you about the cocktail and the chemo. I guess it's a 2-part question, but first of all, how long do you have to go through the chemo process? So
I will be there between 6 to 8 hours getting each infusion.
And how many infusions are there?
This is the schedule that I'm on. I'll be there for the first day, and then the 8th day, I'll get a week off, go back first day, 8th day. So 1.5 treatments to 2 treatments a month.
Now, one thing that you told me that I thought was interesting, and I think our audience might find interesting too, is that it's not just the chemo, right? It's like, okay, all right, you made it through your chemo, now just get back to life. But that's not exactly the truth, is it?
Right.
What is the truth?
It takes a long time for recovery, and it's not for everybody. Some people bounce right back. For me, it's at least 6 months. 6 months of my body hurting aches and pains within the joints and muscles that are uncontrollable. It's fatigue. It's, you're still working getting that chemo out of your system. So, and steroids.
So what do you do? How do you help yourself? How do you get through that? Do you have any kind of things that you hold on to with, like I make sure I go on a walk every morning, or any kind of little routines?
Walks are hard for me,
really?
Believe it or not. They're really hard. If I can make it downstairs into the backyard, I love sitting in the backyard and getting a little sun. My husband built me this beautiful bench outside that I can either sit on or lay on. And then I have my dogs. My dogs have been a huge part of my therapy.
And what are the dogs? You got 3 dogs.
I've got
so
3.
What are their names?
Just describe the menagerie of animals that you've collected here.
So Okalani is a Shepherd Lab mix. She is my independent girl. She wants nothing to do with the boys. She'll get in there and play with them sometimes, but she loves her sunshine. She loves her own couch. She's just a little princess. Then there's my huge German Shepherd, Keanu, and he is actually Mama's boy. He actually is my therapy dog. He knows when I'm not feeling good, and he never leaves my side. There are times that he'll jump on my bed and he'll snuggle with me, or he'll place his paw on my heart if he knows I'm having anxiety.
Wow.
And I've pulled his paw off, and he will hold it there till I calm down.
Wow.
It's amazing. He can read me really well. Then we have our newest little nugget, a corgi. His name is Big Kahuna.
I just think that is hysterical.
He is a brat.
How old is he?
He's not even a year old yet.
Okay. So you have this little Hawaiian theme going on. I know when you wrote us, you said aloha. I recognize some of these names as being Hawaiian. Tell us a little bit about that with Hawaii.
I have always had this love with Hawaii. You can send me there anytime.
The beach, right? Your favorite beach.
And that is the water I will get into. And, everything's on island time. People go at a certain pace, and everybody's so happy-go-lucky. And I just love that. And I'm telling you, every time I fly back into Orange County, it's like going 100 miles per hour again. Back to doing this, back to this sport. Let's go here, let's go there. When you're in Hawaii, there's none of that.
So other than giving the advice of everyone should go to Hawaii,
yes.
Do you have any other advice for folks? Because I think most people don't think about cancer. I certainly don't think about it. And, my wife, as I was telling you, she's dealing with skin cancer right now. What advice would you give us? I know you had said get maybe checked up early, or what would you say?
Early detection is always key, always. And I know that it is such a pain in the butt to take the time out to go to the doctors. We all hate it because you're sitting there for hours. There are people who don't want to hear what the doctors have to say. Whether it's change your diet, lose some weight, whatever. But you've got to do it. We're just at the age where we can't mess around anymore. Our environment's changing. Things are happening. So go take the time and get checked, and get thoroughly checked, and not just with your physician, but with a dermatologist. I mean, I grew up in a time where teenage years, baby oil was a big thing. So I see my dermatologist quite a bit. And I just have him check me all over.
Now, you also, I believe, when you go to your boys' soccer games or baseball games, that you go around checking people's skin. What is this?
If I see they're turning red,
Dr. Karen,
I will let them know.
Get some sunscreen on.
And if they don't have sunscreen, I'll go find them some sunscreen.
Yeah.
It is so important. People don't understand what skin cancer is about. They think that, I'll just get it, zapped off when they find something. It's not that easy.
No. And so when you say, because I kind of find it interesting because you said you weren't feeling well before you got your diagnosis, and you kept kind of having to push your doctor. What can someone do if they don't feel well? How can they insist? What kind of words would they use? What would they say? I really want to get this test, or I need to go forward because I'm not feeling 100%. How would you talk to your doctor to help them understand?
One thing I always say is be your own advocate. You push and push. You have every right to ask any questions and all questions, you have the right to also ask for it to go see a specialist.
Okay.
So for me, a specialist is going to see a dermatologist or going to see a special OBGYN. The blood work, the ultrasounds. There's only so many you can. Mammograms are so important. Ladies, please don't skip those. Yeah. Speaking of getting checked, yearly PAPs. No, not all.
How does that work?
One thing that's really important that people know is that PAPs do not show ovarian cancer. It will show cervical cancer.
So what does show, and how can you get someone to just check you for that?
Nothing.
So it was that HP you mentioned, the
CA125.
Okay, CA125.
She's an expert, man.
I'm completely wrong with those letters.
But wow.
So CA125
is a special blood work that
and you would have to get that done to make sure to see if you have.
But they're not going to just hand it out.
But maybe you could say to your doctor, if you really are suspecting something's weird and you haven't found anything, like, can I do the CA125?
Well, I'm sure you could pay for it. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think you can pay for that on your own. But the doctor will only, I shouldn't say only.
In your experience, what's happened to you?
Right. You really have to show signs of having cancers. Now, I didn't have all the symptoms of ovarian cancer.
What are they? What are the symptoms?
Good question. So it's bloating, pelvic or abdominal pain, pain with sexual intercourse, changes in eating, whether you're losing your appetite or getting full fast, frequent urination. I mean, those symptoms are very basic and they could be anything. So don't jump to that conclusion that you have it.
Right, because there's a danger, isn't there? You get on YouTube or whatever.
No doubt. You go down the rabbit hole online.
And all of a sudden, oh my God, I've got everything that's ever been an illness under the sun.
Exactly. And that's one thing I never did was get on the internet to look up stuff. Because you can go stir crazy. Yeah. You can make yourself physically sick from looking at stuff like that.
Very true.
Just be your own advocate. Push through.
These are excellent words of wisdom.
I have cancer that runs in my family, so if you do, then push a little harder.
Okay, right. So let them know about your history.
Exactly.
Right.
So what would you say for those of us who are wanting to do the best we can to help a loved one who has cancer? What words of wisdom do you have?
Get your hands in there. Be active. Now, this is something I used to do when someone said, hey, I have cancer. I would say, give me a call when you need something. That person, that patient, is going through so much. They are not going to remember to pick up the phone to call you and ask you for help. So be active in bringing meals. Right? Absolutely. Yeah. Set up a meal train for them.
Don't wait for them to tell you, hey, it's really bad
Can you bring me dinner tonight or something? It's just, they're just not going to think about it.
Gift cards are great. Yeah. I've had a couple wonderful friends send me blankets. Those I take with me to chemo because it gets cold in there. Cute socks, just fun things. I mean, there's bags you can put together, and I will certainly, I've posted stuff, but I will post again, what are some good things to take with you. If you get them candy, get them sugarless candy because sugar is one of the worst things for us.
Don't tell me this, Karen.
I know. It's just...
But you're so right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you can do. Cards, sweet messages. One thing I will say to stay away from, and I know they mean this out of love, is, sometimes watch the advice on telling someone
like alternatives.
What do you need to eat? Telling them they got to do this, got to do that, because cancer is different for everybody. And how they react to certain things and what they're open to, it's very different. So it's hard when someone sits there and says, well, my grandpa ate this and he survived, so you should definitely try to do this. And I've always appreciated the time that they take to do this, but
it's overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming.
You probably have a constant barrage of that.
Yes.
Because people want to help, but
that's
it ends
why,
up being tough.
Exactly, and we don't know the right thing to do sometimes. Exactly. You had told me too that, and this is something, Kat, maybe we've heard since we were kids. Oh, we're going to get rid of cancer. we're going to declare war on cancer, right? Fight cancer, get rid of it. But you were telling me that there is no one cancer. There's like, in fact, there's different kinds of ovarian cancer, isn't there?
Right. There's different kinds of ovarian cancer, different kinds of breast cancer. I mean, you know, we have lung cancer. Everybody has something different, and each treatment is different for everybody. It just depends on your weight, what your CA-125 numbers are at. So there's a lot of things. Your cocktail is built off of your testing that they have done off you.
And it's all individualized, I guess.
Right.
For sure.
So finding a cure isn't that easy because everybody's going to have a different
cocktail, different reaction to that same thing. Yeah, this is life. This is like dealing with almost anything health-wise. Everyone's body is so uniquely made, you know, and so just, you know, I can't drink coffee. I literally, if I drink coffee, I'm like I can't do it, right? And like some people can just down coffee 24/7.
Right before bed even.
Yeah, right? I know. So that's just like the most minuscule example of how, you know, the same chemical, the same thing is going to, you know, have a different reaction in different bodies. It's really, really challenging.
Yep.
So any more like thoughts that you've had about, you know, during your fight, and words for people who might be fighting right now?
Whatever fight that you may be fighting, cancer or not, know that you are human. Take that time to grieve. Take that time to get the anger out, whether you have to punch a pillow, punching bag, get it all out. You know, a warrior can drop to his or her knees. But you need to take the time to find who you are, what defines you. You grab that sword and that shield, and you stand back up, and you fight that fight. And there are times that you are not going to be able to do that alone. And that's where your friends or family come. Mm-hmm. And they help hold you up. No one ever fights alone. No. So if you need to reach out and talk to somebody, I mean, I'm more than happy to. Or find a therapist. Find somebody that you can talk to. It's important that you get through this mentally. Mm-hmm. It's not just physically and emotionally, mentally. You have to be strong.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this clip. Be sure to watch the full episode by clicking the link in the description.
Right, and don't forget to like this video and then subscribe to our channel. Oh, and click on the bell icon so we can let you know when we post a new video.
Thanks guys, take care.
See you next time.